Speaking about thinking outside the box, Mr. Ismail Peck is a man that has been thinking outside the box for the longest time since his youth. Of course, him and I bumped into each other on our Marlborough store, and I saw him looking at some of the new items that have arrived now. But then we spoke about something quite interesting, which is, of course, the journey of fitness. And he looked at me and he said, "How are you so slim until now? How old?" And he of course asked me, referred to my age, and we started backtracking with regards to his time as a sportsman participating as a teenager. And I want to bring that as a question right now. How important is it for the youth to be consistently involved in sports, heading over to the older years?
It's firstly for us parents to get them interested in some sport, whether it's rugby, soccer, cricket, motor racing, just any sport, and that will take their brains away from all the crap on the streets. It will take them away from all the nonsense. You'll find that kids that are playing rugby, kids that are playing soccer, they're not even going to clubs on a Friday night and Saturday night. They are preparing for their game the weekend, and they're so excited, they're all worked up about that, and that's all they talk about. And then when you get one kid that's into it like that, he actually talks to all his friends, and his friends start feeding off that. And you'll find that the next best friend starts playing soccer, rugby, cricket, whatever it is. But so important to get your kids into sports today. It's just really not funny.
Yeah, and of course, it's a key point that you've mentioned now, especially nowadays in schools, where you find the curriculum, the extra curriculum programs are not there anymore. Whereas a school will come out around 2 p.m. and then the kids have nothing to do until 5 p.m. when the parents get back home, and now they're just loitering in the roads, getting involved in items and substances they're not supposed to be involved in, because the extra curriculum programs are not there for the kids to be distracted. I want to use the word maybe distracted is not the right word to use, but to be focused on. As you say, if you have something to focus on, you have something to prepare for.
When you don't wake up with a purpose in the morning, like people that don't work, I always say to whoever in my family is not working, or they retired or whatever, I say to them, life is hard for you because you don't wake up with a purpose anymore. I look at unemployed people that always says, I'm looking for a job. Anyone that doesn't have a job doesn't want a job. My daughter always tells me that. She says, Dad, whoever doesn't have a job doesn't want a job, because there's so many things you can do out there. Get involved in things, work for nothing. But like Feroza was saying earlier, make an impression, do things out of the box. Make a difference in people's lives. Anyone that comes into your life, make a difference in their lives. And I tell you what, you'll bump into that person 20 years later, and they'll remember you, and they'll ask you, do you remember me? And you say, ish, you didn't make an impression in my life.
Definitely,
it happens to me all the time.
That's true. And I think on the point of purpose as well, we always have this mentality where there's a sole purpose that we live for, whereas the purpose is realized almost every day. When you wake up and you leave your house every day, you know that actually there's a purpose that I'm waking up for today, and it's never really a sole purpose. So like you say, perhaps just wake up with something in your mind to decide, actually, what is my purpose for being around, for being alive today? And maybe just you might just realize that is your sole purpose for the day or forever.
To be honest, I am on the side of society where I had so many extracurricular activities, and I think it did set me up better in life, because after school came out at 1:30, but I had music class, or I had tennis, or I had art class. I always had something to do, so it was really quick for me to find the things that I was good at, because I had the opportunity to try everything.
I also say, when you're working or whatever you do in life, make people need you. Make people need you, whether it's a job, whether you're doing it for nothing, make them need you, and you'll find you'll grow in whatever you're doing.
Yeah, you don't want it to be the other way around, where you're the one that needs everyone.
100%.
Unfortunately, the world is very cold, and eventually people just start dropping off.
Yeah, and people don't understand it. People like making excuses, and they blame others. When you blame, you're making excuses for where you are today. And so you don't blame people anymore. You don't blame anything on life, only yourself.
I heard that they say when you don't make a choice, you're actually making a choice. And you need to choose your hard, because you'll either work hard at school or your hard is staying at home.
That's it.
Yes, of course, it's that time where we dive into some interesting insight. So what's going on in the world of motorsport? As you know, on a weekly Wednesday, we have Mr. Ismail that gives us an insight as what's going on with his involvement with WOMZA. As we know, he's the CEO of WOMZA and has a huge insight as what's going on in the world of sports, motorsport specifically. And I want to dive into that conversation with him right now. It seems to have a big calendar, and of course, we do know there's a big 4x4 event coming up in the month of April as well. So we'll possibly get some insight from that too. Mr. Ismail, how's it going? What's going on in the world of motorsport?
A lot's happening here in South Africa, not in the world, in South Africa, in Joburg. Oh, crazy stuff. Gauteng, crazy stuff. So on the 1st of next month, we're having Vereniging, Ultimate Raceway. We have American drivers coming. We actually need a screen here. You need to put up a screen here.
It's actually coming
so
up
I can show you guys what is a hot rod, what is a sprint car, what is a 2.1. So people can start getting used to it, and then they'll start learning what cars race where. Because when you talk on the radio and all new people listen to it, they actually have no clue what the car looks like. And maybe we should put up a screen here for Rosa.
We can also do post-production. While you're talking about it, we'll have a picture of it or a video pop up on the screen.
Okay, then I'm going to send you some.
Yeah, we're digital, don't we?
The hot rod is not one of those. No, that's those trucks with those. No, that's not a hot rod.
No.
Hot rod is like a muscle car with big tires.
No. A hot rod is a car. It's actually a car. It's a frame-built car with a fiberglass body. We normally import them from the UK, and then we make our own bodies here. We copy it and build our own bodies here. So it's a frame car with a rotary engine that makes 300 kilowatts on the wheels, and very fast, very noisy too. Yeah. So we definitely need to put up pictures and
just give some visual references to it.
Yeah, people will learn a lot that way. But so the first at Vereniging Ultimate Raceway, we have 4 American drivers coming. 1 or 2 of them are world champions. They'll be racing. They're going to be 24 sprint cars on the grid. And it's going to be something out of this world. On the same day, there's Swartkops, our extreme festival where I'll be racing at Swartkops. And then after the final race, I have to jump in my car and shoot to Vereniging to be there to control the racing in Vereniging. Then the week later, the Americans move over to Rock Raceway in Benoni on the oval circuit, and 24 cars again on the track. Sprint. If you look at a sprint and you see what it's all about, it's a frame-built car. It's got 800 horsepower under the bonnet. It doesn't normally have a bonnet because it's just a frame with wings on it.
I think I know exactly which one you're talking about.
And they're damn fast. They're absolutely crazy fast. They weigh something like 700 kilos with 800 horsepower. So it's something absolutely ridiculous.
I always thought the picture of the car was like, I don't know, incomplete or something. Like, why doesn't it have a bonnet?
It looks like a cartoon car.
Yes.
That's what it looks like.
So why does it? Is there a reason for that?
I think the Americans just started off with building them that way and to get them as fast as possible around the oval track. Remember, oval track is only 400 meters, 14 meters wide, and now you got 24 cars on the grid. It's absolutely ridiculous to pass. So you need to be skillful to be able to drive on an oval track. And people that race on an oval track can race anywhere in the world and they'll do well.
Okay.
Absolutely. Then from the 8th, we move to the 21st and 22nd to Ellis Ras. It's called the Cowboy Cup. That's on the sand, on the gravel oval track. Dricus du Plessis will be racing there.
Ooh,
that's exciting.
Nice.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. So we're going to have lots of cameras going on there. And Dricus raced there last year in the same event. And then after that, he said he has to get special permission to come and do it again. And I think he has got the permission now that
he's the world champ. I mean, he can do anything he wants.
He can make any decision he wants to make. And he'll be racing there. And then on the 5th of April is our big 4x4 challenge.
That's I'm really looking forward to that one.
Bogart Radio is going to be there.
Yes, sir, 100%.
You guys are going to be going for us over there, I hope you're going to come set up just like this there. We can run a radio station there. We can do everything.
100%. So we'll definitely be carrying out a live broadcast there. Of course, properly set up. Of course, I'll be putting up some of our clothing items that, of course, relate to the world of motor racing. Of course, some of of our I want to refer to them as our aviators. Possibly so someone will come out there and find something that will suit them in our Bogart radio stand. But really looking forward to that 4x4 stand. I think you have a lot of excitement, a lot of events coming up as far as motorsports is concerned in the next month and a half.
In the next month and a half, it's like crazy, but it just carries on. I'm gonna actually make the whole list for the year, and I'll just circle off, for a month's racing at a time. And as I get into this radio thing every Wednesday, we'll prepare better, and because I normally just do everything out of my head.
Yeah, no, you're a very creative person, so I don't doubt that everything comes up the top of your head. But I think your contribution to motorsport is something that's really being recognized across the country and possibly across the world. Because now you're tapping into parts of America where you're inviting some of the big races to come over here. And I know you had a bit of an insight. You had a bit of an interview with the Minister of Sports as well, and his involvement. Just let me know, how important has it been to have him involved, to have his opinion in Motorsport South Africa and WOMZA?
It actually wasn't even a bit. It was a lot. There's a lot of time I spent with him at a few racetracks now that we've invited him to, and he came out, and just his presence being there makes the world of difference. So I tell you what, Mr. Gayton McKenzie, thank you very much for just coming there. Just you being there makes everything, it brings everything alight. I tell you, if you go to Pretoria Oval Track, we're still trying to introduce more color into it, and it's just white. But when Gayton walked in there, it exploded. It was so nice to see these people backed him like you don't understand. So, people are starting to take to all different colors, and it's no more a thing. It's going to be one of these days, it'll just be by the wayside. We'll just be people who won't be mentioned by color anymore.
That's for sure.
And, he's been to, I think, 5 or 6 events. He started with our spinning, because our spinning started out in Soweto. And that's something he took to, and he's got investors to invest money into the spinning. I think CLC put 5 million rand into the spinning. The government's put some money into the spinning, but not put money in, but to educate people about spinning. Put an office there. People can go in, they can learn, they can bring their kids there to learn. That's what the money's for. It's not just to be wasted out there. And I promise you, he wants every paperwork for everything that he gives you.
That's
you have to.
The funny thing about spinning, like graffiti in the hip hop industry, has always been considered as I don't want to say, I only run away from the word hooligan, but I have to mention that it's always been considered like a hooligan sport, or as a gangster sport, to say the least. But like we early on were speaking about employment, and in that sector itself, there are various forms of employment. You can literally be the tire changer that changes all the tires in those cars that spin. So it's really become an industry where you can now, number one, generate income. Number 2, create employment opportunities. But also number 3, educate, like you've mentioned now. It's possibly one of the most important aspects. To educate those that are on the ignorant side to understand what spinning is all about, and those that are on the side that perhaps are interested to understand how to start spinning.
Do you know where did spinning start, or how did it start? You don't?
Please educate me.
So, youngsters used to steal cars. In many years ago, they used to steal cars. And when you're a youngster, you want to make donuts with the car. You want to wheel spin the car, right? And the guys started feeling, but the BMs, the 325s, they have a special diff in it that locks both wheels. It's called a limited slip. So when they spin it, the car spins much easier, and it just flips around. And then the guys say, hey, this is nice cars to steal, because we can do nice donuts with it.
Wow.
And actually, that is where it started. And then it evolved into a sport today. So
I'd be mad you steal my car just to do donuts.
I used to steal my dad's car to go make donuts in the field opposite.
So when you put down the handbrake, you don't switch the car on, you just let it roll out of the driveway. You wait until you're far away enough from the house, and then you start it and you pull off quickly. Were you that child?
100%. Okay. 100%. And you know the handbrake. When you're traveling at about 60 k's an hour, pull the handbrake and turn your steering wheel to the right. You'll see how quick you flip it around. It's so nice.
Now you give me some insight. I might just try that. But of course, it's good. Some great insight you've given us as far as the world of WOMZA and motorsport is concerned in the country. A lot to look forward to, as you've mentioned. Now, a full calendar, almost a month and a half of events happening, and I trust that throughout the course of the year, like you've mentioned as well, there will be a lot more for us to look forward to. But of course, we are looking forward to the 4x4 event that are taking place on the 5th of April. 5th of April. That's taking place at Formula K.
Opposite Formula K. It's Mzansi Speedway. Still looking for a naming rights person. So out there, people, whoever wants to come on board, it's going to be huge. It's 34 hectares of land. It's a full circuit. There's a drift circuit. There's a dirt circuit. There's a drag circuit. There's just
too much going on.
So, as someone that would want to get a ticket, like, how does entrance work if I want to attend these events?
Okay, so we started putting out the flyers on everyone's Facebook, and there's a barcode there. You just scan the barcode and it takes you straight through to your ticket. There's VIP tickets, there's alles. Next week, I'll announce all our DJs that's coming, like Kabza the Small and who else.
Okay, that's exciting.
So next week we'll announce who all the DJs are. And also, you know what we need to do? We need to give out free tickets to people, eh?
For sure. I think some of our listeners would really appreciate that. So we can definitely run a competition in our Win With Us tab for the specific event. Really looking forward to it. And if you've mentioned now, of course, our tickets, for those that want to buy tickets, there are certain barcodes that they can copy and paste. But I think what we're going to do as well, we're going to put a link on our website and on our app as well. So for those that are listening that want tickets, they're able to access tickets quite accessibly and easily as well.
Yeah, very easy. You just click on the link and it just takes you there and you buy your ticket.
Yeah.
And
quick guideline as far as our ticket prices are concerned?
150 if you buy it online, and I think it's 200 if you come to the track. Thing is, we want to discourage people from coming with cash there, because we don't want to be carrying cash.
Sure.
Today everything is cashless, and it makes things more safer. When you're dealing with cash, you're in trouble.
Even my church is cashless.
Ha!
Yes, when it's time for tithe and offering, they put a QR code on the screens. And they don't pass around bags, so people would like lift up their phone, scan the QR code, and do their payments that way.
Firoza, how does Firoza work with church?
My mother-in-law.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The way you said that. Mother-in-law, I hope you're not listening.
Hope you're not listening.